Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Anna and Noman and Lida. Hello, Flavia. I just started the YouTube, Flavia. Hello, Amanda. How are you? So, yes, this is Ask Teacher Mark. I'm Teacher Mark. That's me. So, if you have a question, ask me. Ask and I shall answer. Or I will try. I will try. And today is the on-stage edition, which means if you want to raise your hand and come talk to me, you can. You just need to have a question. That's all. So if you have a question, raise your hand. Hello, Ahmed. Thank you. How are you? Let me just adjust this one moment. All right. Hello, Uni and Miriam and Simran. How to improve your oral English? Well, Amy, what are you doing now? What are you doing to improve your oral English? Tell me what you're doing, and then I'll tell you what you can do more of. Okay, but listening and shadowing, those are not ways to practice speaking, right? So I'm asking, what exactly are you doing to practice speaking? Do you have anything that you try to do? Okay, it's a little difficult for you because why? Because why, Amy? Miriam, yes, I will answer, but please be patient. I'm trying to answer another question right now. Because, okay. All right. So, then Amy, if you don't know the words, then that's one of the first things you should do. You need to learn how to say common things. Okay? So start with simple sentences. Every complicated sentence is just a bunch of simple sentences put together. Okay? So, Amy, start with simple things. Can you introduce yourself in English? Do you know how to introduce yourself well in English? Write an introduction. Start with that. Then think about common situations that you will be in, like at work or with your family or at a restaurant or coffee shop. Then write down or look up, right? Look up the English that's used in a restaurant, right? If you look up restaurant phrases, English restaurant phrases, you'll find it. If you look up school phrases, English school phrases, you'll find them, right? So you just search for the situations and you can find the right vocabulary, okay? All right, now, Miriam, modest, humble, and unassuming. Modest and humble are sometimes pretty much the same. Okay, he's a modest person, he's a humble person. They generally mean about the same thing, right? It means somebody who doesn't want to brag about themselves. You know, somebody who is always trying to be better and never thinks they're the best. That's a humble person. Okay? Modest would be the same. But modest has another kind of meaning. Sometimes we say, I'm a man of modest means, or I'm a man of humble means. In this case, humble and modest would mean kind of lesser, meaning like, I don't have much money. Okay? To your means the way you make money, right? So I'm a man of humble means. That means that I am a person who doesn't have a lot of money. My job doesn't make a lot of money. Okay? Now, unassuming is related, but unassuming is... let me think about how to explain this. Well, what does assuming mean? Assuming means that you make assumptions, right? So An unassuming person would be somebody who doesn't try to look important, somebody who doesn't try to draw attention to themselves, right? That's an unassuming person, all right? Now, an unassuming person will usually be humble and modest because that's a good way to not draw attention, is to be humble or to be modest, right? So, Miriam, I'm sorry, Mary, I would say that most of the time, modest and humble are interchangeable. Unassuming is a slightly different meaning. It just means somebody who doesn't want to draw attention to themselves at all. And that usually means that they seem to be modest and humble. Okay? Now, how can you learn the words? There are many ways to learn vocabulary words in English. Okay? If you want to, what I would suggest is this. Wait a minute. That's my website. Here it is. Let me show it to you. The link that I just put is my website. Okay? And if you go to my website and you go up here, these two, my blog and resources. In my blog, I have many articles that I have written. These are my articles that I have written. Here's an article I wrote about shadowing. Here's an article I wrote about the 8 parts of language and why they're important and how to use them. Here's an article I wrote about how to learn vocabulary. Okay? So there are many articles here that you can read that I wrote. All right? You can also go back to my website here and go to resources and look at this. Now you want to work on vocabulary. Oh, okay, then go here. Click on vocabulary, and now I have given you a bunch of resources to work on your vocabulary. These are all vocabulary resources. Okay, thesaurus.com is a great resource for vocabulary. So is this one. All right? So you can find many things. You can buy lessons from me. You can read my blog, and you can check out all these resources for reading, writing, listening, speaking, TOEFL and the IELTS, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay? Okay, please be patient. I'm trying to answer all the questions, but that's hard to do, so you must be patient. Okay? Chatting with AI is great. Yeah, try chatting with AI. That's definitely one way to practice speaking. Is it as good as a real person? No, but so what? If you're trying to learn vocabulary, then here's the article you should read about vocabulary. All right, now the next question was, hello, Vadim. That's correct. That's correct. Yes. You have difficulty in listening. Juliana, I would say you should try listening to different things. Okay? The problem with listening is usually you're listening to the wrong things. You're listening to people who don't speak very well. You're listening to people who speak too quickly, or use too much slang or too many common words, like common language, not proper language, right? Words like gotta, wanna, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? If you can listen to me and you can understand me, then that means you can listen. You can listen well. But you're listening to the wrong people. Because some people are not very careful about their language. But I am. That's why you can understand me. Okay? But you go to my website, check out the listening resources, and you'll find lots of things to listen to practice. Okay? Vadim, modest effect, not humble effect. Correct. I suppose there could be some strange situations where you might use humble effect. You could use humble effect, but modest effect would definitely be more common. Okay, but remember, Vadim, just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it can't be done. Okay? Why does virtual have both virtual meaning, like virtual space, and practical meaning, like virtual promise? It doesn't have two meanings. It's the same thing. Virtual always means imagined, not real. You know, in another dimension somehow, like in another reality somehow. It's virtual. It's not reality. So, where did you see virtual promise from, Carl? Where did you see virtual promise? Guys, listen to me. If you're asking really big questions like how can I improve my English, that's not going to help you. People write books about how to improve your English. So that is not a good question because you need to read a book to get the answer. That's too much. Ask questions that are smaller that you can actually learn from. So ask about speaking, ask about vocabulary, ask about pronunciation, but be specific. The more specific your question, the more progress you will make. The more general your question, the less progress you will make. So think about your questions. Make them specific, not general. How can I be good? That's not a good question. It's not a good question. Okay? Think of a good question. All right? How long would this stream last? Kikuk, I go for as long as I feel like. Sometimes it's 1 hour. Usually it's more than 1 hour. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sometimes it's really long. All right? In general, it's usually about an hour at least. Okay? How many hours should I listen every day? There are 24 hours in the day, and you are sleeping for maybe 8 hours. So the rest of those hours are hours you could practice listening. There is no should. There is no how many hours you should do. If you want to be good, do as much as you can. Ask yourself if you really want to learn or not. If you really want to learn, people who really want to learn don't count the number of hours they do, they just do it. Okay, if you really want something, you don't say, well, maybe I'll do 1 hour today. No, you do as much as you can do. Okay? Do as much as you can. Okay, let's see. Unassuming can mean quiet, secretive personality that doesn't want to talk about themselves. Yeah, usually. Yeah. It's kind of like reserved, but an unassuming person could be just someone that you look at and you think, oh, they're not special in any way. They don't seem to be special in any way. They just seem to be a regular person. That's an unassuming person. And maybe they are really like that, or maybe they're pretending to be like that. Okay? Chatting with AI doesn't help at all. Joe, yes it does, man. So, Joe, are you telling me that somebody from 50 years ago, if I gave them an AI, somebody from 50 years ago, they would say, this has no value? It doesn't matter if it feels natural, man. Stop trying to make everything perfect and just accept that it's good. Good is still good. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right? And Joe, chatting with ChatGPT or whatever AI is better than anything we have had on this planet in human history. Okay? Unless you have money where you can pay somebody to live in your house 24 hours a day. If I could pay somebody to live in your house 24 hours a day, a teacher, they have all the answers, right? You can ask them things and they will answer, right? Now, sometimes they're wrong because sometimes teachers are wrong. That's the way it works. We're human, right? But you'd still, if I told you I'll pay for a teacher, you'd say, yeah, I would love to have a teacher. So you have one for free right now. But it's not perfect. It's not so good. It's not natural like a real person. So what, man? That tells me that you are not using it well. That's not the problem with it. That's a problem with you. I use ChatGPT every day, and I use it for speaking in Chinese sometimes too. Yeah. Okay? Which AI is better? It doesn't matter if it's a Ferrari or a Toyota. It matters if you can drive. Okay? So, you are talking about, oh, is this one better or is this one better? It doesn't really matter. They're both great. The problem is you don't know how to drive. When you use them, you don't know how to use them. You keep talking about it's not a Ferrari. So what? Okay, next. What are my thoughts on apples? They are good. How to choose a partner. Lan, you don't. I think that the most important thing that you do is you develop yourself and make yourself valuable. Make yourself into the flower that the bee wants to go to. Right? So flowers don't choose the bee. What do flowers do? They attract the bee. How do they attract the bee? By looking nice, by having nice value. They have nectar, they have scent. So as a human being, you need to develop yourself. Make yourself into something attractive. Train your mind, learn things. You know, learn a language, learn a musical instrument, learn how to cook, learn about life, learn about history, learn about science. Develop yourself as a person, and then you will be attractive and they will come to you. And then you have to figure out which one is the best match for you. Okay? And that's not something that's only your choice. That's their choice too. They have to decide that you are a good match. Okay? But my experience tells me that most people who are spending time looking for a partner are not ready for a partner. They haven't done enough to work on themselves. So if you find the perfect person, but you have not worked on yourself, then it will not work. You could find the perfect person, but you didn't work on yourself, so you're not ready, so that relationship will fail. So, instead of thinking about how can I find a partner, think about how can I make myself into a valuable, attractive human being. Okay? Okay, Joe. Joe, are you still here? Joe, look at me. Bye. Unk's got slow internet. Unk has 83,000 people following him. Unk has 72 people asking him questions right now. And Unk doesn't have patience for little boys. So, bye, Joe. Okay, now I will talk to the normal, regular people. Yeah, anyway. Yes, to improve your oral English, you need to enlarge your vocabulary. Yes. Yeah. Okay? Now, would anybody like to raise their hand and come on stage and talk to me? If you want to, you can. Oh, how can I deal with that? No way to know. All right. Sometimes I really hate people. Do me a favor, somebody. Do me a favor. Somebody click on Joe and tell Joe that he made a huge mistake and that he's now banned. Yeah, it's Q&A time, so ask a question. Yeah. Joe knows everything. Joe's a genius. His English sucks, but apparently he knows more than the English teacher. You don't know what to say when you talk with AI? Faye, tell AI. Tell it. I don't speak English well. I want to try to have a conversation. I want to have a conversation. Okay? A simple conversation. Just tell it that, and it will probably do what you need it to do. Okay? Yes, if you raise your hand, you can come on stage to ask me a question. Yeah. Amy, you studied English in school, didn't you? Right? Okay, so you did learn some English. You just need to remember. Okay? And writing it down would be good, yes. Okay, when I learned Chinese, I wrote down ni hao, and then I said ni hao, and I wrote down 很高兴认识你, and then I said 很高兴认识你. So writing it down helps. Writing it down makes it feel like you are studying something, that you are learning vocabulary, phrases, words. Okay, so yeah, writing it down helps. If you're learning something, you have to make it like you're learning. You can't just learn a little. You need a good plan, and you have to try to focus and study. Okay? It's good. Janet says, ChatGPT is good to practice English, but in my opinion, it speaks so fast. Janet, did you ever ask it to speak slower? Have you asked it to try to speak more slowly? Yeah? Because actually, I did that and I was surprised it did. It was able to speak more slowly. I was even surprised it was able to pronounce words slowly for me. Like I asked it to pronounce a word slowly, and it did. I was surprised. I didn't think it would be able to do that, but it did. So you can tell it, please speak more slowly, you know. Try to be specific. Try to tell it a specific amount, right? Can you please speak 20% more slowly? Okay, or 20% slower. Okay? Oh. Thank you for the gifts, Fly. I appreciate that. Okay. Your goal is oral English, so you need to open your mouth and practice. Yes. Yes. But, Amy, 现在我住在美国，可是每天我可以练习中文，因为我不需要说的，可以想的，所以你也需要每天你需要想英文，对啊，对，这是为什么我可以说，如果你可以想的，你可以说的，OK？ Start simple. Simple. 我肚子饿 I'm hungry. 我很累 I'm tired. 我要去商店 I want to go to the store. Okay? Simple. Okay, let's see. Hello, Belen. How are you? Do I think it's possible to learn English by yourself? Jimmy, yeah, it's possible. Of course it is. Millions of people do it all the time. Yeah, it's possible. You can learn any language by yourself if you really want to. I have taught myself Chinese, mostly myself. Okay? You're not ready to talk to anybody, your English is too weak. Okay, then spend time thinking in English to build your strength and confidence in the language. So then it will be strong and confident in your mind, and then it will be strong and confident when you speak. Okay, Boson-Higgs particle. Is it normal to step back in English level if you don't practice for 3 months? Yes, it is normal, but that's why you should learn how to think in English. Because if you learn how to think in English, you will never stop practicing. You will never stop practicing. What do I think about travel? I think travel's great. I love travel. Travel is the greatest education you can get. No, modest is used for both clothing and personality, Mary. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't notice that you had your hand up. Yes, AA11, you can come on stage. Are you there? AA? There we go.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good too. You're in China in what city?
I'm in Chengdu.
Okay. All right. And how can I help you today?
I want to ask you how to pronounce English correctly.
So, one thing about English that you need to know is Chinese and English are very different in one important way. Chinese is what I call a small mouth language, but English, especially American English, is a big mouth language. So, 如果我说中文，我需要用好笑的嘴。可是如果我说英文, I need to use a very big mouth, right? So, when I speak Chinese, my mouth is small because almost all of the sounds of Chinese are small. Okay? They're inside the mouth and they're small. But English, we have the vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U. Look how big. A, E, I, O, U. Okay? Or the other sounds. A, E, I, O, 非常大. Right? Very big, right? And that's why it's weird, right? So if I speak Chinese, I have to try to remember, make my mouth small. Because if I don't, my Chinese sounds weird. It doesn't sound right with a big mouth. It just sounds weird. Okay? But Chinese people, they need to remember to make your mouth bigger and to practice your vowel sounds. So in Chinese, you have ba-pa-muffa, right? Ba-pa-muffa, da-ta-na-la, right? Remember? Okay. Well, you can do something like that with English, right? So in English, you can take the vowel sounds like a, e, I, o. That's A-E-I-O-U. A, e, I, o. Okay. Now I can take those and add the other sounds to them. Right? So like B, the sound of B. B, 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 ba, ba, ba. Now I'm going to take that and add it to the a. So now I have b, ba, ba. Ba, be, bi, ba, ba. And now I can do C. Ka, ka, ki, ka, ka. D, da, da, di, da, da. F, fa, fa, fi, fa, fa. And I'm learning how to open my mouth and make it big. So this is kind of like ba-pa-muffa. It's learning how to make the mouth sounds. If you make the sounds correctly, then you can pronounce it correctly, right? So ba, that's not a word. It's just a sound, like ba-pa-muffa. Those are not words. Those are just sounds, right? So do the same thing. You can practice your English sounds and try to use a big mouth. And when you do that, your mouth will become more comfortable when it's big. So right now, your mouth is not comfortable when it's big. Okay? So you have to practice enough. When you speak a language, everybody, sometimes part of what you are learning is body movements. You're learning mouth movements. That's a muscle movement. Muscle movements, you have to do them many, many, many times for your brain to learn. Okay? It's just like if you learn how to throw a ball. If you do it only once, you can't learn well. You have to do it many times to learn how to throw it right. Or riding a bicycle. The first time you ride a bicycle, 奇怪, it's weird, right? But then you do it more. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get because you learned the muscle movements. So, if you don't practice the movements enough, you can't learn them. You have to do it enough. Okay? Yeah. All right?
All right.
Yeah?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Did you understand everything?
I understand everything.
Good. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me?
No. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. Well, that was a good question. So good luck and keep working on it, okay? Come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think we had somebody else raise their hand. Amy, did you want to come talk to me? Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me, Amy. I only put one person on stage at a time, only one, because the timing, it's the timer, right? I can't see if you're running out of time, so I only put one person on stage. Let's talk to Amy.
Okay. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Amy. How are you?
I'm happy.
Good. Do you want me to turn off your camera? There, it's off.
Okay.
I turned it off.
那个，
Okay, so did you have a question for me, Amy?
Yeah. I have to improve my oral English in short time, but now my oral English is not very good, not very fluently. I can't speak any difficult sentence.
Okay. All right. So why?
Because in fact I'm I'm an English teacher too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So why do you need to improve in a short time?
I'm an English teacher too.
Oh, so that's why. Okay. All right. Well, Amy, this is a little bit difficult. Um,
Yeah.
you need to practice more, Amy. But
Yeah.
that's why I told you that thinking practice is the best practice. Because thinking practice you can do anytime, anywhere, any place. So if you are in a taxi, okay, if you are in a taxi and you are going somewhere, you can think in English. If you are at the market, if you go to the market to buy something, you can think about it in English. If you're watching TV or movies, just watch them, but think about it in English. Right? Simple things. I like him. I don't like her. That dress is nice. I don't understand this. Just simple things. That's what I did with Chinese. I still do.
Okay.
Okay? If I watch TV, when I watch TV, I think in simple Chinese. Oh, 我喜欢他，我觉得他很好笑. Right? You know,
Okay,
I
but
just think simple
sometimes
things.
I can understand you just thinking in English anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. Right.
So I have a question, but sometimes I don't know how to thinking in English. I have to look up English dictionary sometimes
Yeah,
because
okay.
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
get a notebook. 这是你的功课。
Oh.
这是你的功课。Okay?
Uh.
I have many notebooks with Chinese. Many. Every day. 这个中文怎么说不知道写。这个中文怎么说不知道写。Okay.
And then I need to review.
Yeah, that's right. Review. That's
Yeah.
right. You need to review them and study them and learn them. And some of them will be very easy and some of them will be a little bit harder. Okay?
And another question is, I don't know how to speak the sentences in the correct grammar.
Okay.
Sometimes I use the
Chinese
wrong
grammar.
grammar to speak anything
Yeah.
in front of my students. And okay.
Right. So that's because you're still thinking in Chinese all the time, right? So the same thing is true for me. When you start thinking in English more, your grammar will change to English grammar. Then when you speak English, your grammar will be English grammar. Now, sometimes maybe you don't know. Okay, ask ChatGPT, ask AI, ask DeepSeek. Ask it, is this correct? Is this right or not? Grammar, it's really good at grammar. Okay? Let me put it to you this way. If you ask ChatGPT a grammar question, is it possible it might be wrong? It is possible. It is possible it might be wrong. Like 1% possible. But 99% of the time, it is going to give you the right answer for grammar. Grammar is not confusing. It's not difficult. For it, grammar is a very good thing. That's a thing you should ask AI about grammar. AI doesn't know about art. AI doesn't know about music. But AI does know about grammar. Okay? So you can ask AI about it. If you don't know if it's right, ask. Okay? And then it takes time, Amy. 熟能生巧.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
Right?
and I have the last question. You know, some Chinese will speak Chinglish. But as English teacher, I don't need Chinglish. So what can I do? I need to watch more English movies. I don't know.
Well, Chinglish is hard to define because sometimes Chinglish is because you didn't really learn English very well. So you speak English vocabulary, but you use Chinese grammar. That's Chinglish. Okay? Chinglish is basically English words, but Chinese grammar, right?
Idiomatic English.
So, but if you, I think for you, Amy, right now, I would just try to focus on just learning simple, basic things, right? And fill in the blanks. So right now, Amy, there are many blanks. What I mean is there are many things you don't know how to say. So I want you to imagine a situation like a restaurant. If you're in a restaurant, can you order in English? If you can't, then
what would you like to eat? Okay.
Yeah, that's what you need to think about.
I would like to eat a hamburger.
Right. Okay, that's good.
And
That's
egg.
a good start.
And a glass of juice.
Yeah, that's a good
Thank
start.
you.
Yeah, that's a good start. That's a situation. Now, Amy, I will tell you one other tip I think might help you to get there a little faster. Okay? There are many books for learning languages, but actually, there are some books for learning languages that are really good that nobody uses. Those books are travel books. Travel language books. Those are some of the best books for learning a language. And the reason why is because a travel language book is not supposed to teach you how to be fluent. No. A travel language book is just supposed to teach you how to use this language quickly in many normal situations, like meeting new people, or at the coffee shop, or the bank, or the restaurant, or a taxi. Those are common everyday situations. So travel English books, travel English phrase books, those are really good for learning common everyday language. Okay? And you can also ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek. You can say, please teach me some basic travel English language, or some basic restaurant English, or some basic at the bank English. Okay? Like daily, everyday English situations. Okay? And so what I mean is you need to think about what are the holes in my language? Where is a hole, right? Find the hole and say, I don't know how to do that. That's something I don't know. And then you have to start making a plan to study that thing. Okay? Amy, I teach that there are 8 parts of language: reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Now, do you know why so many Chinese people learn English but they can't really use it very well? It's because
Because there is no real situation
it's because they didn't
to
learn how
practice.
to. It's because they didn't learn how to think. It's because no one even told them they're supposed to think. Nobody even said you can think. They didn't tell them that you can practice English without saying anything.
So how can I teach my students to how to think in English?
So, Amy, I have a video on my YouTube. It's like a 5-minute video that explains the idea. I'll try to teach you the basic concept right now, okay? There are 4 stages, 4 parts of learning how to think in English. Everybody pay attention. Baby steps. Baby English is the first one. Okay? The first stage of English is baby English. What do babies think about? Babies think about simple things like, I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm sad. I want this, I don't want that. I like this, I don't like that. I need this, I don't need that. Simple. Right? Nothing complicated. Easy grammar. Babies don't know grammar. So,
Yeah.
so that's why at the stage 1, you don't need to think about grammar at all. Just try to think about simple things that babies might think about, right? Just feelings and wants and likes and needs. That's it. Okay, that's baby English. That's stage 1. Okay, but that's a lot. That's a lot. There's so many things with baby English. Do you know how to say all those things? You know, do you know how to say, I want this, I want that? Or do you know how to say, I like this or don't like that? Do you know how to say, I feel something? I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel hungry, I feel tired, I feel worried, I feel nervous, I feel excited.
I can understand.
Right, so start with that. Okay, then we have stage 2. That's elementary level English, or what I call inquisitive kid English. Inquisitive is a word, it means that you ask a lot of questions. And an inquisitive boy is a boy who asks many
What's
questions.
that?
Inquisitive, it means to ask many questions. Okay, so an inquisitive boy, yeah, that's right. So that's what kids do, right? Kids have so many questions, right? What's this called? What's that? Who are you? Why? Where? When? Right? That's what they do. They ask a lot of questions. That's important. That's important. Why do kids ask so many questions? Because that's a stage of learning, everybody. If you want to learn something, one of the most important stages of learning is asking a lot of questions. So now
Yeah, I
you're
understand.
so now you're learning a new language. Now you can ask those questions again in English,
Yeah.
right? So who is that?
So
What are we
I
doing?
have to say sorry for you. I don't have more time because I'm not VIP in this chat. So I want
okay.
to know the steps 3 and 4.
Okay, yes,
Stage
okay.
3 and
Sure,
4.
sure.
I'm so
I'll go.
sorry.
That's okay. I'll go quickly. So, Amy, that's step 2. Ask a lot of questions and answer the questions too.
Yeah.
Don't just ask, answer. All right, in good English if you can. Step 3
I see.
is identity English, like college level English. That's when you're talking about your hobbies, your interests, your job, your work, your travel,
Oh,
your goals, your
I
dreams.
can understand.
Okay? Those are things about you. Can you talk about your family, your friends, your job, everything? Then there's stage 4. That's college level English. That's when you're talking about advanced things like economics, politics, religion, philosophy. You know, those are really tough, right? That's really difficult. I can't talk about those things in Chinese. My Chinese is maybe stage 3. Right? I can do about stage 3 level. But stage 3 is really good. If you can get to stage 3, that's really good. That means you have a pretty good control over your thinking. Okay? So that's the 4 stages, everybody. Baby English, inquisitive kid English, ask a lot of questions. Stage 3 is identity English. You know, high school and college kids, they're talking about themselves. Who are you? What do you mean? What's your life about, right? Where do you come from, and what do you want in life, and what are your goals, and what have you done, right? You have to be able to talk about those
Yeah.
things, right? That's
I
identity
can
English.
remember.
Yeah.
I can remember first stage.
Yeah, and then that's it. All right?
Yeah, thank you for your help. Thank you very much.
You're
Mom.
welcome.
Bye.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
You just have to
Yeah,
it just takes practice, Amy. If you start doing it,
Practice,
makes perfect.
first
That's right.
step, prepare a notebook and then write down. I don't.
Yeah.
What I don't know.
The more
Write
you
down
do
the
it,
new vocabulary for me.
the more you do it, the easier it gets. The thinking part. In the beginning, the thinking feels very difficult. It feels very strange. It feels very awkward. But the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes. Okay? So when
Good idea.
when you make breakfast, think in English. When you go to the market, think in English. When you walk to the park, think in English. If you can, do. If you can think it in English, do. And sometimes you can test yourself. Just try to think something like, think something in Chinese, and then say, do I know how to think that in English?
Okay, I'm sorry. It's time
That's
to
okay.
leave.
All right.
I don't have more time.
Take care, Amy. It
Okay,
was nice to
I'm
meet
so
you.
sorry.
No problem.
Friend,
Take care.
thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye, Amy.
Okay, bye. Bye.
So let me catch up with the comments here, everybody. Travel English books, travel phrase books are the best language books you can buy. They really are. They teach you all of the most important parts of the grammar. They teach you all of the most important parts of the pronunciation. And they teach you practical language in practical situations. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. Yeah. All right, let me review the comments and make sure I didn't miss anything here. Why can you understand me, but you can't understand people in other voice streams? Because 我是英文老师。I'm a teacher. It's my job. My job is to speak well. Okay? Do I know any Spanish too? Un poco, un poquito. A little bit, right? Is it un poco? I think it's un poco, right? I always forget which one it's supposed to be. But I don't think anybody really cares. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. All right. Let's see. Sometimes we're not motivated to learn. Do we have any advice to beat laziness and build discipline? I think motivation and mindset are important. Motivation and mindset are important. So motivations are, here is a mountain. I need to climb this mountain. Why? Why do I need to climb this mountain? Is there a reason why? What are my reasons? Anybody can climb a mountain, but everybody will climb that mountain better if you have a good reason, right? My mom is up at the top and she's sick. She fell. My mom fell. She's at the top of the mountain. That's a good reason. Now I have to go help my mom at the top of the mountain. That's a good reason. Now you have motivation, right? So first, I would say you need to think about your reasons. What are your motivations? Why are you learning English? Have you thought about it? How does this benefit me? What will it do for me? How can it help me? Think about it. Answer those questions. Now you have motivations. That's one. The other one is mindset. And mindset means basically, what is your opinion of learning? Why are you learning? Are you learning for something else? For someone else? For some other reason? Or are you learning for yourself? This is really important because, again, if you need to do something because someone told you, that's one thing. But if you do it because you want to, you'll do it better. So, learning, all learning, is developing you, developing your character. When you play video games, if you play a video game, you have a character. And your character, you have to develop them to make them stronger so that you can win the game. Well, guess what, everybody? Welcome to the game of life. It's the same way. You have a character. You have to develop that character so that you can win in life. Mindset. That's mindset. Okay? So, sometimes I need to remind myself, I'm developing my character, both for myself and for everyone around me. Okay? Is it right to say Magic English Kids as a name of an account for teaching English for kids? Maybe you could say Magic English for Kids, or Kids Magic English might be better. It's not terrible. It's fine if you say Magic English Kids, but if it's the title, then the K should be a capital K, right? If it's a title of an account, it's a name, then the whole name should be capitalized. M, E, and K. All right, let's see. Chinglish sometimes is wrong grammar, but sometimes it reflects Chinese thinking style. Right. It is hard to correct. It takes practice. Just like when I have to think in Chinese, I have to think about, oh, wait a minute, that's not the right way to put those words. But, Susan, it's kind of like learning a style of music. Okay, there are many styles of music, rock and roll and jazz and blues and classical music and funk, and each of those styles of music, there are things that you need to learn. There are movements and actions and things that you need to learn, sure. But part of what you're learning is not a specific thing, it's the feel of that thing. Okay? And languages, just like music has a feel, languages have a feel. Okay? Like, I don't speak Italian. I really, really want to learn Italian because I love the music of Italian language. It is the most musical language of all. Like, when you listen to them, you don't need to even understand the words sometimes, just because the way they say them, the emotion, you can hear it. You don't even need to understand the words sometimes. Okay? So, I guess what I was saying is every language is like a style of music, and part of that is just you need to just get comfortable with it. Okay? When a rock musician learns how to play jazz, it takes a while. It takes a while for them to learn how to be comfortable in that new environment. Just like when a jazz musician tries to play rock, it takes a while for them to learn how to become comfortable, to feel the difference. Okay? All right. And yes, Vadim, I definitely think that my musical background is a huge benefit in learning any language. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all the questions, guys. Please be patient. What do I think about using transliteration for learning? Well, transliteration is great for, like, Chinese. I use transliteration all the time for Chinese. You need it, in my opinion, to see the tones, to make sure you're doing some kind of tones. Yeah. All right? The world is lacking... Oh, well, thank you, Allward. Internal motivation is better than external motivation. Yes, but both are good. It's good to have both, you know? All right. Okay, I think I caught up with the comments. So now, if anybody's raising their hand, if you want to come on stage, you can come on stage and ask me a question again. I caught up with the comments. Yes, Susan, it just takes a while. You just have to listen to it enough, right? Susan, I remember when I was a boy, when I was 16 years old, I was studying how to play jazz drums. And I was learning the book, right? And in the book, I was learning all the hand movements. And I could do them. But guess what? I couldn't play jazz. Because when I tried to play them, I knew the movements, but I didn't understand the feel. Because why? I never listened to jazz. If you never listen to it, you can't understand how to play it, right? So then I started listening to it, and suddenly those movements, I could make them work. Now they fit. Now I understand the music, the feel. I understand the feel. But you can't understand the feel if you never listen. Okay? Every language has music. Okay, but you have to listen to it. All right? How to pronounce tone? Tone. Tone. O-O-O. Long O. Okay, anybody? Raise your hand. You want to come on stage and talk to me? Let's try Run from Cambodia. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm good, and you?
I'm pretty good too. What should I call you? Should I call you Run, or what should I call you?
Oh, just call me Radya. As my name, Radya. You see.
Okay.
Sir, and I can call you Teacher Mark.
Yeah, that's fine. And do you have a question for me?
Oh, I just hear your sound is really great, and I just want to get the some tip from you how to speak English good and fluent. I see you are speaking good.
Well,
And sometimes
go ahead.
I did just the first time for me at this called Hello Talk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're new on Hello Talk.
yeah.
Okay. So for anybody who's new, let me just take a minute to introduce myself. So my name is Teacher Mark, and I have been on Hello Talk for almost 12 years. A long time I've been on Hello Talk. Okay. And I've been live streaming on Hello Talk for about 4 or 5 years. And I have about 83,000 followers on Hello Talk. And they follow me because I do live streams regularly, about 5 or 6 times a week. I teach classes like this. And I teach English. I teach about reading and writing and listening and speaking, grammar and pronunciation and accent and confidence and public speaking and interviews and all kinds of things. Okay? So if you are new, then you can follow. And I have a YouTube channel, and I have a podcast, and I have a blog, and I have a website, and there are many, many things that you can follow and learn. Many, many things here. Okay? So if you guys are new, then just click the follow button and start watching, start listening. And because I have so many followers, people ask me a lot of questions. And the questions they ask me, they're the same questions you have. Right? So some of the questions you have, somebody else has already asked me, and that's on YouTube. You can go watch my YouTube and just listen and say, oh, I wanted to know the same thing. Right? And then just take some notes. Take some notes. But many people say that they want to learn something, but many people are not that serious about it. So if you say you really want to learn, then you have to show that you really want to learn. You can't just say English is so important, I have to learn it, but I don't want to do any work. You can't say that. You have to do both, right? You have to say you want it, and you have to do it. In English, we say, talk is cheap. Anybody can talk, right? You can say anything. Anybody can talk. Talk is cheap. But doing it, that's more difficult. Excuse me. So Run, I would say, if you can, start watching here on my live streams regularly, and you can also go to my YouTube. Here, let me give you my YouTube channel. You guys can follow me here. Go to this link. If you go to that link that I just put, copy that link. And then you can find everything. You can find my website, you can find my blog, you can find my YouTube. It's all there. Okay, it's all on that one link.
Okay, later I will copy and go to your YouTube. And I just want is my one more question for
Mhm.
you. I hear people say English if we want to be fluent and good at English speaking, we need to practice, right? But sometimes when we have the partner, it's easily to talking out. But sometimes don't have people to talk with and how to practice it.
So let me ask you a question. If you are by yourself, you are alone, and you are on
Yeah.
you're on the moon. You're on the moon and you are alone. Can you learn a language? You can. Of course you
Alone?
can. Yeah,
Can.
sure you
Can, but-
can. Yeah,
Can.
sure you can. Is it easy? No, but you can. Okay? You can. So, many people, they think, I can't really learn this language because we don't speak this language. But that's why I told everybody that it doesn't really matter what language they speak there. It matters what language you think in. If I go to the moon, I could go to the moon and think in English, or I could go to the moon and think in Chinese. I speak Chinese, so I could think in Chinese when I'm on the moon. Why not? Right? So my point is,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where you live. It matters what you think. So if you practice thinking in English every day, right? If I move to your country, do I have to think in Khmer now? Do I have to think in Cambodian now because I moved to Cambodia? No. If I'm in Cambodia, I can think in Cambodian if I learn it, but I also could think in English. It doesn't matter where you live, it matters what you think where you live. So right now, I live in America, but I can practice Chinese anytime in my mind. Okay? So I just live my life. I do my normal things. Everything I do every day, I just do that. But when I'm doing it, I'm not thinking in English. I'm thinking in Chinese the whole time. If I go to the market and buy things for groceries, for food, I do that, but I just think about it in Chinese. Then I'm practicing. I don't need a partner. I just need to change the language that's here, that you live in every day. And if you do that, that is the most practice you can get. Because now you're not practicing 1 hour, you're not practicing 2 hours. No, you're living in English. You're living in English.
In our daily day activity is thinking in English, right?
That's right.
Anywhere, any place we go,
That's right.
everyone is talking,
That's right.
just think in English.
And if you don't know how, then write it down. That's your homework. Figure it out.
Okay.
Study it. Okay? And this is a very practical way to learn a language, too. Because now, every day, you can look around and just say, do I know how to say that in English? Do I know how to say that in English? Do I know how to say that in English? Just do that every day. And there are many things you'll say, oh, I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to say that. But now, this is useful because now it's like you're defining your world in English. Right? That's practical. That's not, sometimes when you learn languages from the book, some of the things they teach you, it's not really practical in your life. You don't need that. That's not practical. But the things that you see every day, the things that you do every day, that's practical.
Yeah, they sometimes they show this naturally, and we read or study from the textbook. They say this just a textbook, not natural. It be
Right.
I'm like it.
Yeah, or maybe it's not common, or maybe you're an adult, but the things they're teaching you are like school children things, right? School children words and books and book bag and, right? Things like that. Okay, those are okay to learn, but they're not meant for you, so it's not that practical. But this method is the most practical because it's just looking around your world and trying to say, can I say that in English? Do I know how to? I have a whole world here, but can I talk about all of it in English? Can I think about all of it in English? Yeah, it's easy. Now you just have to just write it down and start saying, now I know how to say that in English. Okay? Yeah, and it takes some time, but the great thing is if you learn how to think in English, then you'll become comfortable with the language, and then when you need to speak, it's ready, it's there. You don't have to think about it and go, what do I need to say? No. You know what to say because you've been thinking in English all the time. So now you know how to say it. And the other thing that's great about thinking practice is when you speak, you're worried about what people think. When you speak, you're worried about being embarrassed.
That's right.
When you speak,
right.
you're nervous.
Yeah.
But when you think, there's nobody around to hear it. It's just you. So you don't have to worry about being nervous. You don't have to worry about making mistakes.
Yes.
Okay?
Nervous and scaring about the mistake or I speak wrong.
Yeah.
About the grammar, how people make.
Right.
And sometimes
Yeah,
it's
I understand.
hard to speak at the public place.
Yeah, but thinking, it's no problem. Right? And then you'll get comfortable with the thinking. And once the thinking is comfortable, then you'll feel like, oh, now I can speak comfortably. Okay?
Yeah.
But the big mistake,
Okay, thank you.
many people, they think you're supposed to translate everything. No, that's not how a language is not supposed to work that way. You're supposed to know how to think in that language so that you don't have to translate. But they never tell you that. They don't tell you that. They tell you about reading, they tell you about writing and listening and speaking. But nobody tells you that you need to practice thinking in the language. They don't tell you that. But it's so important. Really important. That's the secret to confidence, is if your brain doesn't know the language, then you can't be confident in the language. You have to make sure your brain knows it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, my friend, do you have any other questions for me?
Okay, later we'll ask you again, but this time let other people have any question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you, teacher.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you. Nice to meet you. And come back and see
Yeah.
me again sometime, okay?
Yes, see you.
Okay, bye-bye. But when I want to think, I don't know some words to express. Okay, and 如果你不知道，你需要写，这是你的功课。Okay? If you don't know it, write it down in Chinese and then go find out. How do I say that in English? Okay? That's your homework. And hello to you, Jesus. I saw your message. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see you again, and it's always nice to see you. Thank you for the compliments. All right. Could I please suggest some websites to help you learn scientific English? Okay. There are not too many specific websites to teach you that directly. But I'm going to give you a couple. Let me think about that. Hold on. Let me see what I can find for you. One moment. Let's see. Okay. Well, this one looks pretty good. Here's a YouTube video I just found that says, "Become a master in science English in 6 hours." It's a 6-hour long YouTube video, but it covers 7 sections of science: physics, chemistry, engineering, geography, space exploration, sociology, and climate change. And they teach you the scientific language involved in those fields in 6 hours. So I think this one's probably pretty good.
Grammarly doesn't just help you with
Let me see if I can give you that link. Here is that link for learning scientific English on YouTube. Let me see. No. One moment. This one looks pretty good too. Oh no, but this is, you gotta pay for this one, I think. Let me see. Yeah, that one's a subscription, of course. Nothing is free anymore. And that's fine. Let's try this. Yeah, this one maybe too. Okay. TED Talks would be useful for some science as well. And there's also some articles you could read on scientificamerican.com. I think that's the right website. Let me double check. Let's try that again. Yeah, Scientific American. That's a website. That's a magazine. It's a famous science magazine that they've had for many, many years, and the level of reading is pretty high, like C2 level. Okay. Okay. Please be patient. Let's see. But words are easy to forget. And words are easy to forget because the way you learn them is easy to forget. That's the problem, Anne. You learn them in an easily forgettable way. Okay? You memorize them. I guarantee that's what you do. You memorize the words. Memorizing is not a good way to learn. As a matter of fact, memorizing is the worst way to learn. The faster you learn, the faster you forget. The slower you learn, the slower you forget. Okay? So you need a better process. You forget because you have a shallow process. It's shallow, it's not deep. You need a deep process if you want to remember. Hello, Saeed. Nice to meet you. You are welcome. So what should you do? Anne, I have an article about this, but I don't know if you can see it because you might not be able to see it in China. Let me see something. Hold on. Some people can and some people can't. I don't know who can and who can't. But I have an article about how to learn vocabulary, and it's right here. Okay, that article is my complete answer about how to learn vocabulary properly. All right? My YouTube, if you go to this link here and you'll find everything. Whoops, sorry, let me try that again. Go to this link and you'll find my YouTube, my blog, my podcast, my website, everything is there. Okay? Everything is right there. Yeah, 如果你住在中国，我觉得你们需要用特别的魔法。Yeah, memorizing is the worst way to learn. Memorizing is pretending to learn. You're not really learning anything. You looked at the words and you hope you remember. You looked at the words and you hope you remember. That's memorizing. That's not really learning. That's hoping to learn. That's pretending to learn. It's not really learning. Okay? You have to have a deeper way to learn if you want to remember. Sometimes I tell people that your brain is like a spider web. Your brain is like a spider web. And a spider, when they make a web, if it makes only one web strand, just one, is it going to catch anything with only one strand? No. It's not strong enough. It's not big enough. It's not deep enough. It doesn't do anything. It's one strand. So, what does a spider do? It doesn't make just one. It makes many, 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 many connections. And the more connections it makes, the stronger the web. That's your brain. The more connections you make with what you learn, the more it stays in your brain. It will hold. It will get stuck in that web. But if your web is weak, then it will fly in this ear and fly out that ear. Do you understand? Okay? The more connections you make, the more likely you will remember. Okay? Your brain is a spider web. Stop making bad webs. Okay? That's right. That's right. Memorizing is just pretending to learn. You're not really learning. Okay? Now, some people argue with me and they say, but memorizing does work sometimes. Okay, it does. If memorizing is just step one in your process, okay. But that means that memorizing is just the first little thing you do. Then you do many other things, okay? If that's what you do, okay, then you can use memorize. But that's not what you do. Almost all of you don't have any other more, there's no more process. You only memorize, that's it. You do the memorizing and that's all. That's you stop right there. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work. Okay? Oh, there's a name I like. Hello, Chomsky. Thank you for the gift. Gnome is one of my heroes. You are welcome. Okay, Karen wants to come talk to me. Karen, you want to come on stage? Islam, hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Teacher Mark.
Hello, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. So long to see you.
Good. And what can I do for you today?
Actually, you talk about how to I listen to you about memories and vocabulary. I want to use reading some books, but I look for a long time. I can't find one book I like it. It's difficult.
Okay, yeah, it can be difficult, but there's one good thing. English, there are millions of books. So if you haven't found one yet, keep looking. they are there. There are some books that you will like, but you have to find them. Okay? Finding things that you love to read is like finding treasure. Treasure is not just sitting there obvious. You have to look for treasure. You have to go find treasure. You have to dig for treasure. So finding a good books don't just fall in your lap and hit you in the face. You have to find them. You have to dig for them like treasure. Okay? So keep looking. Keep looking. All right? And now it's much easier because you can use AI. Use DeepSeek or use ChatGPT. Talk to it and ask it. Say, I need to find some books that I like. Tell it what you like. I like romance. I like historical novels. I like science. I like adventure. Whatever. Tell it what you like. And then ask it to give you a list of books. But you also need to tell it what level. Right? So A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Okay? So if you say, give me some B1 or B2 level books about adventure, now it will give you a list of some things that you can look at. Okay?
Yeah.
And then the other thing that you can do is I often use ChatGPT with my students, and I ask ChatGPT to write a story for me. Now, this is great because now you can ask it to write the same story in different levels. So you can tell ChatGPT to write one story about, let's say it's a story about going to New York City for the first time, okay? So that's the story. But now it's going to give you 6 stories. One that's at A1 level, A2 level, B1, B2, C1, and C2. The same story, but just different levels of language. And that's very useful. That's useful so that you can see, what does this look like in the simplest way, and what does this look like in its most complicated way, complex way. Right? That's useful.
Yeah. Because actually I don't know what's my level. But this way I can test my level.
That's exactly right. That's why I use it that way. That's why I do that. It helps me to find the level for that student, is by asking it to write the same story. Then I just ask them to read. And it's easy. You can see, A1, no problem. You've got that. A2, pretty good, no problem. B1, yeah, I think you can do B1. B2, that's where you're stuck at B2. So that means that you're somewhere around B1, B2. Right? That's a really good way to figure out the level. And the other thing that's great about this is reading is good and books are wonderful, but books can be a challenge because if you don't speak the language well, it's easy to lose focus and then lose interest. But
Yes.
but short stories are just short stories. So that's why every week my students, one of the things I like to do is I have ChatGPT, they write a story about a boy or a girl who's traveling to the United States for the first time. So they go to New York City, and they go to Disneyland, and they go to Chicago, and they go to the Grand Canyon, and it writes a story, and I can tell it, okay, this student is B1, write it at a B1 level. Or this student is C1, write it at a C1 level. And sometimes I'll do more than one. I'll say, well, we did A1, now let's do A2.
Ah, same. Thank you. Finally, I know how to test my level.
Mhm.
I'm always confused. What's my level?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know what's my level, so I can't find the book.
Right.
A lot of books, yeah, too difficult. A
That's
lot
right.
of books, they are too easy for me.
That's right.
So I can't find it's a book match for my level.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can't focus on them.
Well,
So
that's another
I
thing
can't.
that the more you use ChatGPT or DeepSeek, the more it knows your language. So the more it can tell you, oh well, you're this level, right? So that's one thing you can do. You can ask it. You can say, please help me find my level. But if you want to do that, then you have to give it enough. If it doesn't have enough from you, it can't judge anything. So if you write one sentence, it can't really judge your language off of one sentence, right? But if you write a story, write a couple of stories. If you write a few stories, now it can see enough of your language to say what level you're really at. So any test is not a good test if it's too short, because it can't really tell your level if it only has 10 questions. Okay? If you really want to know what level you are, any test, it has to be a lot of questions. The more questions it asks, the closer you get to a real assessment. Okay? But if you only ask 5 questions, then it can't really tell you what your level is in 5 questions. But 500 questions, now it can tell you your level. Okay? Yeah, but you have to do enough. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you.
You're
Finally, I know how to do it.
Yeah, no problem.
Maybe because it's confused me a lot of time. I try a lot of way to find the website, the books, but most of the I'm not interested.
So there's another thing you can also do, which is if you're reading a book, especially if you have a digital copy of it, right? You can ask ChatGPT to explain it to you. You can talk to ChatGPT about your book, right? So whatever you're reading, say, hey, ChatGPT, I read chapter 1 of this book, but I don't really understand what's happening. Can you help me? And it will. It will go through the book and it will try to discuss it with you so that you understand. Yeah. So it's a very good study guide if you tell it what you're studying. Okay? Especially for reading. It's good for that, you know? If you show it the PDF, maybe you have a PDF of the book, give it to the ChatGPT and then say, I'm reading this. Can you help me go through it chapter by chapter? And it will. It will go through it like a personal teacher. And it will say, okay, let's talk about chapter 1. What happened? Who are the main characters? What did they do? What's the background? What's the setting? All of those things. It will ask you those questions. It will be a good teacher. You just have to tell it to do that. That's the thing. ChatGPT is this brilliant tool, but the problem is it's only brilliant if you know what to tell it. If you know what to tell it, it's brilliant. If you don't, then it's not. So that's why I say AI is as smart as you are.
Yes.
If you're smart, then you can use AI really, really well. But if you're not, probably you can't.
Yeah, learn to how to use AI. It's very important.
Yeah, but it's important to learn how to use AI. You have to use it the right way. Right now, you know what AI is like? Like, I remember when I was a boy and I was in math class, right? And in math class, we had calculators. And they told us, you're not allowed to use a calculator. Put the calculator away. You have to learn how to do it without the calculator. But there was always a few kids who were cheating. There were always a few kids who didn't really learn how to do it, they just cheated. That's the same thing now. Right now, there are some people who are using AI to learn better, and there are some people who are just using it to cheat. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Good example.
Anyway, yeah, but I use it every day. I use it to help me learn about lots of things. I ask it questions. I ask it to ask me questions. That's another thing that many people don't do. If you ask ChatGPT to write something for you, it's going to write it for you and it's going to edit it a lot. And that's a problem, because what that means is it's not your writing anymore. If it changed 40% of your writing, now it's not yours anymore. That's 40% of editing. That's not right. But if you tell ChatGPT, please look at my writing and let's talk about each sentence. Ask me questions about every sentence I wrote, and it will. And now it will talk about, what did you mean? This sentence, what exactly did you mean here? And now you can write more, and now you're really telling it what you want it to say. Okay? But if you don't ask it to ask questions, then it won't ask questions and it will just do it for you. Right? So you have to tell it. One of my favorite philosophers is Plato, right? And Plato, I read a book he wrote called The Republic. Okay? It was Socrates, Plato. And both Plato and Socrates, they're philosophers from Greece, right? A long time ago. And the way that they did things, they asked questions. That's how they talked about things. They would debate. They would argue, right? So it would be 5 guys who would say, let's talk about government. Like, what's the best form of government? And they would be 5 guys drinking some wine for hours, arguing with each other about, well, that's a good idea, but what about this? But you said this, but what do you really mean here, right? So what I did is I told ChatGPT, I want you to do that for me. I want you to ask me questions about what I write, about what I say. Question me. Then we'll find the real answer. That's the way you find the answer, is by questioning a lot. Right? But if you ask it one time, it's just going to give you an answer and that's the end. You know, I never do that. Whenever it gives me an answer, I don't just accept its answer. Now I ask more. And I ask it to ask me, right? We talk about it. We debate until finally I get an answer. But at the end of that, I know that the answer I get now is mine. It's my words. It's not ChatGPT's words. It's my words. Because we argued about it. You know? Yeah.
It's very useful. Oh my God, tonight I learned a lot of things.
I hope so. That's my job. That's my job. So, Karen, yeah, you know, that's part of what I try to do, guys, is I'm trying to show you guys about how to be a good self-learner. Most of us, we learned how to learn in school. And the problem is the ways they taught you how to learn in school are not necessarily the best ways. They're the ways that work for school. Right?
Yes.
So what that means is many people in China, they studied English to pass the test. So they just wanted to pass the test. That's all they wanted to do. Their goal was not to learn English. Their goal was to pass the test.
Yeah,
So-
they want to get the high score, not speaking, listening, communication. So
Right.
most of Chinese people, they know a bunch of vocabularies.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to speak,
That's
how to
right.
communicate.
Yeah, that's right. Because they had the wrong goal when they were learning. They were trying to pass the test. I don't care about tests. I'm sorry, I don't. Those are not what's important. What's important is, do you feel like you are now connected to that knowledge? Do you feel like that knowledge lives inside you now, that you know it? It's yours, that you own it now. But when you memorize in school, you don't own any of that. It's only living in your brain for 5 minutes and then it's gone. And now you graduated and you forgot all of it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why that true learning really happens after school. After school is finished, that's when now you have to learn another way. You don't have school, so how are you going to learn? Now you have to create a system of learning that works. And guess what? Now there are no tests. So now that means you have to focus on the real goal, which is actually understanding. Right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Language is a tool, not just for test.
That's right. Yeah. Language is an art. It's for communication. It's for expression. It's for exploration of the world. Think about it. If you know English, those two languages, Chinese and English, think about how much information is out there now for you. Right?
Yeah.
Same for me. Now that I know Chinese, there are so many more things that I can experience and understand that I couldn't before. Right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, change a lot of because I can communicate with different countries, so I know a lot of outside China
Yeah.
information.
Yeah,
like
or just
religion.
or things, ways of thinking, or just different ideas. You know, just different ideas. That's all. You know,
Yeah,
it's a way to
totally change
understand.
your-
Yeah, and we can understand each other better. You're speaking English and I'm speaking English. Now we can try to learn about each other, and now we can understand each other, right? Just like if I speak Chinese, it's the same feeling. I feel like, oh, I can connect with this person. I can tell you what I like and who I am in Chinese. That's a way for me to connect, right? So, yeah. Anyway. Karen, any other questions for me today?
No, it's enough. But though, thank you. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
grateful.
You're welcome. No problem. I'm glad it was useful. All right. Well, take care of yourself, Karen. Come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Okay, have a nice day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, there was a lot of echo. That's her environment was kind of noisy. It's that's why it's important to pay attention to the room that you're in when you speak. Her voice was a little bit unclear, but not because of her speaking. Her speaking was fine. It was the acoustics of the room. Her room was like a classroom, which means it's very noisy, like this. But my room, nothing. So it's clear and clean. You see the difference? Can I tape off? Why do I wear a cap? Because I want to wear a cap. Can I take it off? I can, but I'm not going to. I like my hat. My hair did not look very good today, so I wore a hat. All right. You can discover about your level on the Cambridge University website. Yes, Lillian, that's another way. There are many, many online tests that you can take to try to find your level. Although, Lillian, Cambridge University's website also has a course that they try to sell, right? So their testing methods, you can't necessarily trust somebody if they're trying to sell you a product that way, right? So what I would say is that's one test you can take, but I would take more. I would do a few tests to really find your level. Okay, if you really want to know your level, do more than one test. Okay? All right. Anybody have any other questions or want to come on stage? Anybody? I've been here for almost 2 hours. It's been 1 hour and 55 minutes. Let me check on my YouTube over here. Nobody's speaking up over in my YouTube channel. That's okay. All right. Hello to the YouTube people. I got my coffee right here. I'm almost finished. That's how I know that my live stream is almost over, because I'm almost done with my coffee. William, do you have a question? You have to have a question if you want to come on stage. Today is called Ask Teacher Mark, so you have to have something you want to ask me, and not about my hat. Raise your hand then, William. You have to raise your hand. There's a hand raising button.
Hello.
Hello, William. How are you?
My question. How do you? Good.
Good.
You?
I'm fine. I'm fine. And what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Okay. I want to know about reading comprehension. How to improve reading comprehension in English?
Well, reading comprehension, you have to practice reading.
Like example.
Right, so you have to practice reading comprehension. So how can you practice reading comprehension? There are many ways, but I'm going to show you a few good websites that you can look at. Let's see here. Let me share my website. Hold on. So on my website, if you go to my website, then you'll see this. Okay, this is my website here. Okay. And at the top here, we have resources, okay? If you go up to resources here, now you can see here we have reading, writing, listening, speaking, right? All of these are about this, right? So if you click on reading, okay, click on reading, and this one here,
Okay.
I like this one here. Let me show you this. It's called Breaking News English, right? Take a look at this website. This website has a bunch of news articles, right? They're random news articles about different things, right? Like this one here says data centers putting strain on water supplies, right? But look, it has level 4, level 5, level 6, right? Or level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, right? So let's look at this one. Let's just look at this this one article here, okay? So here's the article, okay? And then underneath the article here, we have some different questions that you can do, okay? There's some different exercises you can do, all right, for comprehension, all right? True, false. Look, now you have to answer these questions about what you read. That's comprehension practice, okay? Here are some synonyms that you can match, right? So these are vocabulary words that you learned, right? Phrases that you can match, okay? Okay, William? So this website here has a lot of good reading comprehension exercises, okay? A lot of good reading comprehension exercises, all right? And there are many other good exercises for reading comprehension on my website. Okay? William, can you...
Okay, I got it.
Okay?
I have another question that your accent and some other English native language accents so different, but why your accent so easy to understand and some other people accent so difficult for me to understand? Why?
Okay, so the number one reason is because it's my job. I'm a teacher. I'm an English teacher. It's my job to speak well. It's my job to speak in a way that people can understand easily. Okay? And William, I started when I started teaching English, I was teaching kindergartners and first graders. When you teach a kindergartner, you have to speak simply and slowly. Right? So I learned how to speak simply. I learned how to speak slowly. Okay? And I try to be very, very careful with my words. Every word that I choose carefully. Most people don't do that. Most people, when they speak, they don't really think. They just speak. Okay? That's number one. Number two, William, there are many accents in America. Many. I have one, but there are probably 30, about 30 different accents in America. So if you live in New York City, maybe you sound different than me. If you live in Chicago, you sound different than me. If you live in Texas, you sound different than me. All right, so we have many, 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 many accents. My accent is called the Midland, Ohio accent. And this accent, it's the most neutral. It's the most neutral accent. My accent is very, very close to the IPA pronunciation. Okay, the International Phonetics Alphabet. It's almost the same. All right. So that's one reason. So there are two reasons. All right. So one reason I said it's my job. Two reasons I said I'm very careful about my language. Right. I try to speak slowly and simply. And the third reason, William, is because I use really good equipment. You know, so for example, the girl who was talking before, she had no microphone and she was in a very noisy room, so it didn't sound very clear. But I am using the same microphone that CNN uses. So this is the highest quality of sound that you can get. Okay, that's why.
Okay.
Okay, and many speakers.
Do you think which one most important for
Go ahead.
in English, like reading, writing, or speaking and listening? Which one most important to? Most important in English. Beginner.
They're all important, okay, William? When I teach my students, William probably lost his time limit. William was asking which one is the most important, reading, writing, listening, speaking, but they're all important, guys, okay? Here's what you need to understand. There are 8 parts of language. Those 8 parts are like a table with 8 legs, okay? You have a table with 8 legs, not 4, 8. Okay, and if your table is like this, maybe your grammar is not very good, but your vocabulary is good. Well, if your grammar is not good and your vocabulary is not good, then your table is like this. Okay, if your vocabulary is good, but your grammar is not good, then your table is like this. So when you are learning, there are 8 different things that you need to keep in balance: reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8 parts of language, the 8 pillars of language, the 8 table legs. All right? Now, they're all important, but maybe some are more important for you because of your goals. So, for example, maybe your goal is to learn English just for traveling, right? You're not interested really in taking the TOEFL test or the IELTS test. You're not interested in really reading and writing a lot. You just want to speak and listen well, okay? That means that your goals might be a little bit different. So that means that you might focus a little bit more on one more than another, all right? But you still need to think about the balance, okay? If you want to speak well, reading helps that. Because when you read, you see how people speak. You see how the language is used, okay? All right, can I say the 8 elements? Yes, reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking. Those are what I call the active parts of language. Those are the active parts. You have to do something, right? To read, you have to read. To listen, you have to listen. To speak, you have to speak, right? To think, you must think. There's an action. You have to do something. But then we also have the other three: grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the passive parts of language. So if you don't have a good vocabulary, you can't really speak well, right? If you don't have good grammar, you can't really speak well, right? So we have 5 active parts of language and 3 passive parts of language. I'll say them one more time. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking. Those are the active parts. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking. Then we have the passive parts. Grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay? All right. What's the most difficult accent to understand in America? That's a good question. I think that's kind of personal. It depends on you. You know, maybe you understand the New York accent fine, but you can't understand the Texas accent. It's a little bit different for everybody, I think. Right? And some people have a strong New York accent and some people have a light New York accent. Right? So it depends. It's kind of hard to say. If I had to try to choose one, Christian, I would probably say there's a very small area of America called the Creole area near New Orleans. And the Creole language, there's 2 languages actually kind of there. There's Creole and, I forgot the other one. I can't remember the name right now. But that the accents that they have, wow. It's pretty wild. It's pretty interesting. It's really, really fun to listen to and sometimes hard to understand. Okay? Okay. What's the best way for learning and memorizing new vocabulary? Go read my article. Hold on. If you want to know about how to learn vocabulary, read my article. Okay? It's a long article because it's a long answer. It's the perfect answer about how to learn vocabulary. Right there. Okay? What's the accent of Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds? If I remember right, I mean, obviously it's a fake accent. He's pretending to have an accent, so it's not a real accent. But if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say maybe Texas. It's a southern accent for sure. It's kind of the southern accents. There are many states in the South, and each one kind of has its own little flavor to the southern accent, right? So a Texas southern accent sounds similar to a South Carolina southern accent, but still different. Not completely the same, right? There are some unique things about them, okay? So I kind of, if I remember right, I think he had kind of a Texas accent in that movie. You can hear well when you're listening for formal, but it's hard for you for movies and so on. Guys, please listen to me and watch me right now. When you watch TV shows and movies, if you don't understand, the reason why you don't understand is because TV shows and movies are not supposed to teach you anything. TV shows and movies are entertainment. They're not education. That's why if you go to school, they don't just play movies. They don't let you just watch movies every day, right? Because that's not education. That's entertainment. Now, can you learn English from TV shows and movies? You can, but you're doing it wrong. The way you're doing is the wrong way. Let me tell you what you need. If you want to study the language of a TV show or movie, then you need to see the language. Not on the screen. No, you need to hold it in your hands on paper where you can make notes about what they say. And guess what? That's easy to find. Every American TV show, every American movie, and every American podcast that's a major podcast, they all have something free online that you can get called the transcript. If you get the transcript, now you can watch the TV show or watch the movie and you can make notes. You can say, I like that phrase. I want to remember that. Let me circle that. Or, I don't know that word. What is that word? What did he say? And if you can see it on the paper, you can rewind it and watch it again and be like, oh, now I get it. Now I see what he's saying. So if you want to learn English from TV shows and movies, if you don't have the transcript, then you're not really learning anything. If you don't have the transcript, you're not really learning. You're pretending to learn. You're telling people, I'm learning English because I'm watching a Batman movie. No, you're watching a Batman movie and you're telling people you're learning English, but you're not. You're just watching a movie. But if you get the transcript, now you can study it. Now you can make it educational. All right? All right, I need to go soon. My voice is getting tired. It's been 2 hours. 2 hours and 12 minutes. Frankly saying I have learned English through Hollywood movies. I have learned accents also. Okay, so, Johnny, because you did it, does that mean it's the best way? Because you did it, does that mean that it's the way everybody should do? That's what we call anecdotal evidence. So that means somebody did it. That doesn't mean that it's the best way. That doesn't mean scientifically that that's the best way. Okay? So, yes, you can watch TV shows and movies, and there have been people who have learned. Okay? But it's easier if you actually try to learn with real methods. Okay? It's easier if you really study. Okay? So, Johnny, I can learn Indian music without studying Indian Carnatic takadimi takadimi takada takada ta. I can learn it without that. But it's better if I know those sayings, if I know those patterns, if I know that language. Now I can study that music. Right? I can learn how to play a song without knowing the chords or the notes. But it's easier if I do. Okay? If I know the notes, if I learn the theory, it makes it more, your learning becomes stronger. Okay? Your learning is strong. It's built on a strong foundation. Okay? The difference between a transcript and a subtitle is one thing. The transcript is something that you can print out. The subtitle is on the screen. If it is on the screen, it's going by too fast. You can't really study it. If it's in your hands and it's printed out, you can look at it and you can study it. That's the difference. Okay? That's the difference. Okay, how can we learn accent in the best way? Morteza, that's a big question. That's a big question. Accent is about studying pronunciation first. Okay? Don't worry about accent. Worry about pronunciation. Okay? Because pronunciation is that's what you learn to speak clearly. Okay? Don't worry about accent. Nobody cares about your Iranian accent. Nobody cares about your Chinese accent. Nobody cares about your Japanese or your German or your French or your Italian or your Spanish accent. No one cares about your accent. What they care about is If your accent is unclear, then your pronunciation is unclear. So that means pronunciation is what you should focus on. Okay? Clarity. Clarity is the goal. Okay? When I speak Chinese, I know, they know I'm not a Chinese person. They can hear that I'm not from China. Do I care? No, I do not. I don't care at all. The only thing I care about is, can I speak words in Chinese that they understand? Is it clear? Can they understand my clarity? If they can, you're good. If they can't, you have a problem. So, keep your accent, but sharpen it to make it clear. Keep your accent, but sharpen it to make it clear. Okay? Tiger, I already answered this question today once, Tiger, and it's a very long answer, but I'm going to give you a short one, okay? Tiger, 听我，看我，现在我住在美国，可是每天我可以练习讲中文，你也可以练习讲英文，每天 ，OK？ 如果你做饭讲英文，如果你去商店讲英文，如果你做饭，如果你去工作讲英文，如果你看电视讲英文，听得懂吗 ？OK？ 像简单的，所以第一次你是要想，今天我很累，today I'm really tired。今天我肚子饿。Today I'm really hungry. 简单 Okay? Simple. Start with simple things. Okay? 听得懂吗 Okay? 你看，你可以想这个英文怎么说？不知道。这个英文怎么说？不知道。这个英文怎么说？不知道。这个英文怎么说？不知道。Okay? You don't know a lot of words, so 如果你不知道，你需要写，这是你的功课。Okay? All right? And I will tell you guys, I also like this website. Let me show you guys this website that I really like. This website is called games2learnenglish.com. Now, this is mostly for beginners and intermediate level, but take a look at this website, everybody. Look at this website. This is called games2learnenglish.com. It's free. It's free. And look how many games. Watch. Wow, look at all the games. And it's games about English. Games about, let's see, we have idioms and proverbs and similes and metaphors and family, how to talk about family, the days of the week. Here's Merry Christmas and Halloween and how to talk about the weather and animals. And here we have future tense and daily routines and speaking phrases and Hangman, if you like to play the game Hangman, if you know that game. It's a good game. Conditionals, right? It's all right here. All free, right? So you say, I don't know many words. Okay, then go to the Monster Vocabulary and start choosing some words. Look at all the words. Watch. Let's choose jobs. Look, window cleaner, reporter, mailman, scientist, nurse, lumberjack, mechanic. And you can click on it.
Graphic design, mechanic, lumberjack, teacher.
Okay, and then you can play the game.
Graphic design.
Which one? 1, 2, or 3? Graphic designer, 1.
Nurse.
Nurse, 1, 2, or 3? 1.
Reporter.
Reporter, 1, 2, or 3? 3.
Scientist.
Okay, look at that. Look how easy. I'm learning vocabulary by playing games. Okay? Easy. It's not useless to think about them. It is useful. It just takes time. It's just hard. Okay? Tiger, 说冷生巧. Okay? All right, guys, it has been 2 hours and 20 minutes, and my coffee is done and my throat is dry, so I need to take a break and go work on my blog and my book. Okay? What I said is really professional. That's because this is my job. I am an English teacher. This is my job. This is what I do. Okay? And I take it seriously. Okay? Okay, I have just 5 more minutes. I'm going to talk to Lisa. Lisa, do you want to come on stage and talk to me? And then I have to go. Ooh, my feet hurt. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
I want to close my camera.
No problem. Yeah, it's okay. I know. 现在在中国就是晚上，没关系啊。Yeah, no problem.
Mark teacher, actually, I just brought a website like online lessons, but this teacher teach me about how to about learn English American accent. But sometimes I always confused about to read like this.
Okay. So you taught or you took some lessons from one teacher before.
Yes.
Okay, but you were just studying accent only.
No, about like alphabet
Okay.
and alphabet, how to read,
Pronunciation.
read.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, but sometimes you're confused?
Yes.
Yes, because English, yes, some words are easy and they follow the pronunciation rules very easily, right? So like the word park. Park, that's an easy word. It's PPP, pa, right? And then A, right? Ark, right? That's normal. But then there are some words that are very different, like the word cafe. Cafe is spelled C-A-F-E, but we don't pronounce it that way. If it's spelled C-A-F-E, usually that means we should say cafe. Cafe. That would be the rules. The rules say it should be pronounced cafe, but it's not pronounced cafe. Do you know why?
I don't know. I just follow teacher, but
Okay. But that's because many English words come from other languages. So the word cafe is a French word, 这是法文. So French words, sometimes the pronunciation is different. It's like a French pronunciation. And English words come from many languages, Lisa. Okay? 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. 你知道吗？这是拉丁语跟希腊语, right? 60%. Then we have 30% come from French, 法文的. Okay, 20% come from German, 德文的. Right? But we also have many English words that come from Arabic. We have words that come from Hindi, from India. We have words that come from Chinese. In English, we say 好久不见, we say long time no see. That's Chinese. But we say it, right? So that's why English can be difficult sometimes, because sometimes we have words from many languages, and that means the pronunciation rules sometimes change because of where the word comes from. Okay?
actually I want to ask you about and like I need change my tongue to cycle my mouth.
You mean for the letter R?
R is yeah.
Okay.
R,
Okay, I can fix this one. This one's not that hard. Let me tell you why. Because can you say 1 2 3 in Chinese? Say 1 2 3 in Chinese. 中文说
3
Right. 1 2 3 right?
Right? Yes.
Right. So the number 2 in Chinese, how do you say 2 in Chinese, everybody? R. Well, guess what? That's almost the English R. It's the same thing. How do you say the word car in English? Car. R. It's R. It's the number 2. It's the same. Okay? Yeah. Now just pull it. Make it longer. R. Car. Right? Just like if you said the number 2 in Chinese, but stretch it. Make it, pull it long. Like, don't say short. Don't do R. Say R. Yeah.
So
Yes, but that's...
long, right?
Do you know why you have to do that, Lisa? Because if you only make a short sound, that means that your brain only sees that. It goes by so fast your brain can't learn it. But if you make it long, now your brain can see what you're doing and say, oh, I know what you're trying to do now. Okay, so that's...
But I follow article or follow articles to read sentence. They are always read so fast, and I just want to follow them.
Well, try to find somebody else who doesn't read so fast. Okay? There's one website I use called eslfast.com. If you go to that website, it's free, and they have, I think, about 2,000 short stories that are very easy to read, and you can listen to them also, and they're pretty slow. The way they speak is not too fast. Okay?
Thank you. I have another alphabet. Don't know how to read.
Okay?
M and
N.
M.
Yeah.
M.
Okay,
M.
you just did it. That was good. M. Like mama. That's the M.
M.
Okay?
But sometimes have some word read like coming. I don't know, have and like
Yeah.
it sounds like have ing and but just
Right. So again, slow down. Slow down. Coming.
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 Now, let me show you how we do it in America, Lisa. In America, when I was a boy, they would say, come in. Come in.
In.
Come in. Coming. You see what I did? I bring them together. Come in. Come in. Come in. Coming. Right? That's how they teach us. That is how they teach us. They tell us to break it apart. Break it apart and make it clear, and then push it together. Then push it together. Okay?
My action is not about this question. I read come just mean COME.
Right.
But sound like coming, not come.
我觉得这是差不多. Yeah, I don't hear that much of a difference. But Lisa, the secret is the same. You have to make it longer, stretch it, and
Long.
teach your mouth the difference between the M and the N, right? So you can say a bunch of M words and a bunch of N words, okay? And there are some words that have both M and N together, like money.
Money.
Yeah, money. Yeah, money.
Money.
Now, Lisa, here's the reason why you are having trouble. Your mouth is too small.
Oh.
Chinese language is a small mouth language. English is a big mouth language. So, when I say the word, watch my mouth. Money. Look how big. Big open. Ma, and then smile. Knee. Like when you say 你好, money.
Oh, before I read money. Oh, just like this.
Well, sometimes, Lisa, don't think too much. Sometimes maybe you think too much. You're focused too much on it. Just speak. Yeah, just speak. It will get easier. Okay? Sometimes, Lisa, it's like you're trying to become comfortable on a bicycle, but you haven't ridden the bicycle enough. If you want to be comfortable on a bicycle, you have to ride it a lot. Right?
Yes.
But if you just talk about riding the bicycle, you can't really become comfortable. Right? You can't become comfortable by talking about it. You have to do it, right? So the same thing is true with language. Sometimes I think you're thinking a little bit too much. Is it perfect or is it not? I think you should just speak. And if someone doesn't understand, they will tell you.
Thank you.
If somebody says, what word was that? What did you say? I don't know if that was correct or not. They'll ask you. And then, now you know there's a problem. Now you can try to fix it.
Yes.
Okay? But also remember what I said. Pronunciation, there are two things that are very important. One is English is a big mouth language, so you have to use a big mouth.
Big
right?
mouth.
Yeah. When I speak Chinese, I have to use a small mouth. Okay? Look, if I speak Chinese and I say, 很高兴认识你, 这是奇怪. 这是非常奇怪. But if I say, 很高兴认识你, my mouth is small, 很高兴认识你. Now it's okay. But if it's big, it's weird. It's
That's
weird.
Different melody. Oh.
Right. Yeah. Same thing is true with English. With English, you need a big mouth. Okay? A big mouth is clear. All right? So, when you slow down and you make your mouth bigger, your brain has time to learn. If you go too fast, your brain can't learn the pronunciation because it goes too fast. But when you stretch them, and make them longer, whatever problem sound you have, many Chinese people have trouble with the TH sound, right? The TH sound.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so when you practice thank you, you should practice it like this.
Thank you.
Thank you. See how long? Look how long that was. Thank you. Right?
Thank you.
Or you say this. That. Yes, pull it. Make it longer. All right? Because if it's long, you have control. And if it's long, your mind can see it and say, oh, I see what you're trying to do now. That's different. Let me learn that. Okay? But if you go too fast, your brain can't learn it. It's too fast. Okay?
Advice.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So Lisa, I have to go because my mouth is dry. But thank you so much for coming on my stage, and come back and see me again sometime, okay?
But every day.
Well, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. And come back and see me again, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, guys, I do have to go. It's been 2.5 hours. My mouth is very dry. French needs both mouth. Yeah, French does. My French pronunciation is terrible because French pronunciation is really hard. It's in the nose, right? French is mostly a nasal language, and it has elements that are both open and closed. And yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult one. Yeah. Okay, I have to go, guys, but I will be back tomorrow. I think I'll be back tomorrow. I might be back later today to practice some music, some drums. Somebody asked me if I'm an English teacher. Yes, I'm an English teacher. I have more than one job. I'm also a drummer. Like, that's another job, not just a hobby. Okay? All right, I have to go. My throat's so dry. I can't talk anymore. I'll see you guys later or tomorrow or next time, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you live. Bye.